Guys, we're going to talk about this wonderful, wonderful word called autophagy. And this is one of the things that I was telling you about. See, scientists, they're finding out things that God has already been talking to us in the scriptures all this time. And why not? Why would he not tell us this? He created us, right? He knows best about our bodies. He knows what we need. He's our father. So he's already been telling us about what to do. And autophagy is a process in which a cell eats its own content. And it's like your body is recycling itself. The best analogy I like to think about with autophagy, because it means self-eating, I like to think of it like, you know how we have a self-cleaning oven, and when you want to do your self-cleaning oven, you put it on high heat, and then it burns all the garbage, all the grease and stuff, and it turns it into ashes. And then all you have to do is just wipe it clean, and your oven is clean. That's what's happening in our bodies when we have autophagy going on. And the best way to have autophagy is fasting. Fasting renews your body. It takes all these garbage cells and even cancer cells and all these different waste material cells that are in your body, including wrinkles, including all these things that's going on in your body. When you don't eat for a while and your body goes through autophagy, it eats the dead cells. You don't think God knew that when he tell us to fast on a regular basis? It's part of us. It's part of our well-being. So autophagy is a beautiful thing. He said right in our scriptures, I will satisfy your desire and renew. What that big word say? Renew your youth like the eagles. And that's Psalms 103:5. That sounds like autophagy to me, okay? Because he wrote in the scriptures, even Christ said, he said when you fast. He didn't say if you fast. But see, we treat fasting like okay, I feel like it. No. Christ said when you fast. He said when he leaves this earth, his disciples will fast. That is part of us. That's what we're supposed to do. Every religion does fasting. Every religion. I don't care what religion you're looking at. Every religion does fasting. But for some reason, us Christians think that we're not supposed to fast. That's a lie from the devil. Because he don't want you to fast. Because when you fast, you can think. Your body is not focusing on digesting all that garbage that we keep eating. You able to actually use your brain when you're fasting. You can think. Your body can think, and your body renews itself. It's cleaning itself out. It's cleaning all the garbage out. First of all, the waste in your digestive system. Your body finally get to rest and clean. Self-cleaning, like a self-cleaning oven. It gets rid of all the garbage cells. That's why one of the main things people said to me after I've fasted for a while, we're not even talking about the weight loss. One of the main things people have been telling me is I look younger. And yes, I don't only look younger, I feel younger. I feel younger, and I am younger. Fasting makes you younger. The wrinkles go away because it's eating. The autophagy causes your wrinkles to go away. So you would think with me going through the weight loss that I have, Just think about this. I lost 110 pounds or reduced my weight 110 pounds in 7 months. Where the sagging skin at? Now, any other garbage food diet that they tell us just count our calories, just count your calories. Weight Watchers, any of them. When someone lose weight rapidly or fast, like I did, they have sagging skin. You have all the, the sagging skin, and I don't have none of that. Why? Because of autophagy. I'm going to play a video about autophagy. It eats the dead skin. It eats the excess skin. I don't have sagging skin. You would think I would have that. I don't. Fasting does that for you. Fasting is a miracle. And these Hollywood stars that we all adore, all these Hollywood stars that we all adore, we like, oh, why they look so good? Why they so thin? Okay? In this book right here, I'm telling you, I read a lot. In this book right here, this man brags. You recognize his brand. He makes the apple cider vinegar and all that. Him and his I think that's his niece. They talk about in this book all these movie stars that will come to their ranch and pay them money to help them do fasting. That's the reason why a lot of these Hollywood stars, even Halle Berry, she's keto. So we're so scared. Oh, keto this and fasting this. The Hollywood stars doing it. That's why they look so good. They look so good because they're taking the principle out the Bible that talks about us fasting, and they're using it. And we're in the church so scared to go a whole day without eating. But the Hollywood stars, Phyllis Diller, all these, because this is old. All these Hollywood stars, they fast. They're in the book. Jack LaLanne, all these Hollywood stars, because this is old, so it won't be no Hollywood star from here, but they are. All these Hollywood stars fast. So you wonder why all these Hollywood stars so thin and why they look so good and why they look so young. Here they are 40 years old and they look like they still 30. Why? Because they fast and they don't eat this carb garbage. So stop admiring them and start doing what they do. They do it. And they look good and they are healthy. So they doing it. So we admire these people, but they're doing that. So I'm going to play this quick video and then we're going to be wrapping it up, okay? Because this is very important. You guys need to understand what autophagy is, okay? Give me one moment. I'll pull this up. I'm explaining it, but like I said, these are doctors. So you can't say that Lady Tay only said, nope, I played the proof. I played these doctors. Okay?
Today I'm going to talk about autophagy, how fasting not only helps you lose weight, but also activates autophagy. We're going to talk about what it is and how it can make you healthier. And it's coming right up.
Please listen, y'all.
What is autophagy? The 2016 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded to Dr. Yoshinori Ohsumi for his discoveries on autophagy. The word derives from the Greek auto, meaning self, and phagein, meaning to eat. The word literally means eating yourself. It's the body's mechanism of getting rid of all the broken down old cellular machinery, such as the organelles, the proteins, and the cell membrane, when there's no longer needed or they're not functioning well. It's a regulated, orderly process to not just degrade these parts, but to recycle them. Proteins are broken down during the process of autophagy and then taken to the liver where they're burned either for energy or they're broken down into amino acids. Amino acids are the cellular parts that make up proteins. It's sort of like when you take a Lego and break it into the bricks. You can then take those bricks and build something new. And that's what the body does with these proteins. The proteins that are no longer so functional or they're very old get broken down into amino acids. The amino acids can then be reassembled into new proteins rather than keeping the old junky ones. Autophagy is a survival mechanism under conditions of stress, and it maintains the cellular integrity by regenerating these metabolic precursors and clearing out all the debris. It sounds really bad to be breaking down proteins because we always think that building is good and breaking down is bad, but that's not the right way to think about it. Think about the process of renovating your bathroom. Say you have a really old tub and sink and they're from the 70s and they're avocado green. Well, if you want to renovate it, the first thing you need to do is get rid of them all. You got to throw it all out. Then you can put in your new sink and your new tub and so on because you've made room for it. And that's the same thing that happens in the body. We don't continually grow once we're adults. We maintain the same size, but in order to function well, we have to get rid of the old proteins and replace them with new proteins. So that's what autophagy really does. It's the process of cellular regeneration, and autophagy is that first critical step in breaking down these old proteins. How does autophagy work? Once it's initiated, the proteins and the old cellular debris that the body just doesn't want anymore gets targeted for removal. Then it gets enveloped into a compartment called the autolysosome. And this prevents all the destructive processes from spreading all over the cell. And it gets contained within this compartment. This compartment then merges with something called a lysosome, which is filled with all these destructive enzymes called hydrolases. When they merge, all the hydrolases go down and they break down the proteins into their component amino acids, just like taking apart that Lego structure. Then, from there, you can recycle those amino acids into new. This review article from the New England Journal of Medicine reviews all the ways that autophagy is important in human health conditions. In fact, it's increasingly recognized that autophagy plays a key role in both aging and disease. There are several ways that autophagy does this. There are different types of autophagy. There's lipophagy, which is the regulation of lipid metabolism. It also suppresses inflammation. There's agrophagy, which is clearing out these old misshapen protein clumps that can really clog up the machinery of the cell. There's xenophagy, which is destroying these proteins that are related to infections, such as degrading bacteria and viruses. And finally, there's mitophagy, which is the process of regenerating mitochondria, which are those powerhouses that generate energy for the cell. And when autophagy is dysregulated in some way, it plays a role in all of these different diseases, such as metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes and obesity, pulmonary diseases like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, neurodegenerative and aging diseases such as Alzheimer's and Huntington's chorea. Alzheimer's, for example, we know that there are lots of protein aggregates in the brain, and perhaps if we could clear them out, it's possible that we could even prevent these onset of Alzheimer's disease. Autophagy also plays a role in infectious diseases because of its role in breaking down viruses, bacteria. Vascular diseases, this is heart attacks and strokes. It plays a critical role in keeping our body healthy, keeping those blood vessels nice and supple, and clearing out all those aggregates of proteins and cholesterols that clog up our arteries and cause heart attacks. And cancer. Cancer is also a disease of too much growth, so clearing out these old things and replacing them with new things might be a way that we can prevent certain types of cancer. Now that we know how important autophagy is, the question is, how are we going to activate it? We know that autophagy is very highly regulated. Too much is not good, but too little is also not good because you're not going to activate that rejuvenation process. The key is nutrient deprivation. Our body has certain hormonal messengers that are nutrient sensors, predominantly insulin and something called mTOR. These tell us that, hey, food is available. So if we eat, for example, carbohydrates, insulin will go up. If we eat proteins, like amino acids, then mTOR goes up. And it gives the signal to the rest of the body that food is now available and we should grow. On the flip side, when we don't eat, such as when we're fasting, both mTOR and insulin are going to go down. And it sends a signal that, hey, no food is available. Let's hunker down, slow down the cell growth, and go into this regeneration maintenance mode. For autophagy, mTOR is the key regulator. It integrates the information from nutrient availability, hypoxia, that's oxygen, growth factors, and insulin. And when mTOR is high, it gives a signal to go ahead and grow. When it's low, it says slow down growth, and that's when you activate autophagy. The most efficient way, therefore, to activate autophagy is to restrict those foods. You can go into a very low protein diet, but then you run the risk of not having enough protein to build what you need for muscle and other body parts. So fasting is actually the best way to activate autophagy. First, you're not getting any protein or any other nutrient signals. So therefore, you're maximally lowering mTOR and stimulating autophagy. But fasting does more than that, because as you break down those subcellular parts, as you activate the autophagy, fasting also stimulates growth hormone so that when you do eat again, your body is now primed to replace all those proteins that you need. It's ready to rebuild. So that process of breaking down the old, getting rid of the stuff that's junky, and replacing it with new is actually called rejuvenation. And that's what fasting does. Interestingly enough, fasting has always been considered to be a rejuvenative process. People have been fasting for thousands of years, and in the past they call it a cleanse or a detoxification. And that's exactly what autophagy is. Fasting allows your body to clean out those old proteins that it doesn't need. It's just now that science is catching up. And now we understand how fasting can be part of good health by clearing out all of those excessive proteins through the process of autophagy. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you learned something, and if you did, maybe share it with a friend. They might be interested in it too.
All right. Now let me tell you something. Jason Fung ain't nothing to play with now. He has, like he said, the fastingmethod.com. He is a kidney doctor, a nephrologist, and he's been helping thousands of patients fasting. He even helped a lot of his patients that were diabetic no longer are diabetic. And I already told you my husband's testimony about how he doesn't have to take his diabetes medicine no more. And you heard what he said. It's like you going through a renovation process, and then you're rebuilding, rejuvenating. So now you understand why these movie stars and all these people that just seem like they never age, now you understand why. Because they don't eat this carb garbage, first of all. And second of all, they fast. They may not fast as long as Lady Tay has fasted, but they do eat like maybe once a day. That's part of fasting. They do a lot of intermittent fasting. A lot of intermittent fasting. We eat too often, y'all. This 5 or 6 times a day to eat is wrong information, and I got proof about that too. I will be showing, but not tonight. Stick with me. I'm gonna show you all this proof. I'm gonna show you all the lies, because we've been lied to, y'all, and that's why we're so sick. We just keep trusting what these people have told us and trusting the doctors and all this. And there's nothing wrong with trusting doctors, because we need doctors, but a lot of doctors, even Jason Fung has admitted, they only get 1 semester of nutrition. That means people like you and me that do a lot of studying about nutrition know a lot more than a lot of these doctors. Now, I can tell you that for sure. Most of them don't get that much nutrition schooling. They have to specialize to want to go further in their education to get nutrition. They really learn about diseases and how to treat them as far as writing prescriptions. You have to do your own research. You have to look for solutions for your own problems. We have to, as saints, train our brains to become problem solvers, solving our own problems. Because if we keep looking for the media, keep looking for the television and all that to do it, you're not going to be able to do it through that.